It's almost time for every team to wrap up their season. Championships around the corner. Some championships already wrapped up. Welcome into Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. We've got a jam-packed show today with quick picks with Bruce Cooper. We've got an interview with Snowflake head coach, the 3A state titles, back-to-back years, and of course our social spotlight. Claudia, there's just so much going on. There's nothing better than playoff and championship football, right?
I feel like this just like the timing was meant to be. It's like right around the holidays. So you're already excited about that. And then you've got, playoffs for football and, college season is ramping up. It's just like the best time of year. Am I right?
It's the best time. There's no other time of the year that I enjoy this much. However busy this makes us, it's a fun time.
I absolutely love it. And what's even more of a fun time is every time we get to have Bruce Cooper on. So we'll bring him in for our quick picks. And I'm still in a good mood despite my current record. We'll go over that real quick. Jordan, you have taken the lead. You're 30-10. Bruce is 29-11. So just one game back. And if it's okay with you guys, like I might pick last for the next 2 weeks and just, play all my cards against you guys and hope for the best because I'm 26-14. So the only way I think I can win is if you guys are wrong for the next 2 weeks and I'm correct.
Where you got to shoot some arrows up and just hope they don't land on your foot. And
for real. So let's just jump into it. The first matchup is Saguaro at Hamilton. We're talking open division. Bruce, who's your pick here?
Wow. How about Jason Munn's unfurling a new wrinkle, if you will. I mean, Devin Dampier is at the starting quarterback position, and that made a huge difference. And again, we're seeing a Saguaro team that, is starting to get some transfers in that were ineligible to start the season. And I think they're starting to get a little bit more comfortable. But we all know Hamilton and what they did last year and what they've done this year. They are the number one ranked team. I think that victory against Bishop Gorman on national TV, a late rally, I think that really put them at a level that is going to be tough to beat. But guess what? I'm taking the SaberCats. I'm taking the Saguaro SaberCats here to pull the upset and beat Hamilton. Give me Saguaro 28, Hamilton 27.
Okay, I'm loving this. Nice and close and everything. You're actually making it easy for me. I'll just go right here in the middle so I don't look like I'm trying too hard to just pick against you guys. But for me, just really hard to pick against Hamilton. They're a team I've gotten to see a lot of. So truthfully, a lot of this is just I haven't seen Saguaro with my own eyes. Nothing against what they've done because I've heard and seen nothing but great things. I just can't really bet against Nico Marchial right now. He's that spark plug for Hamilton. And they're so hungry. I mean, come on. They've been really fighting for this for years. So I've been saying for a few weeks now that I think this is the year for Hamilton. So I can't exactly bet against them at this point. Spurge, house divided right now. Where are you going with this?
This is going to be the best offensive line that Hamilton defensive front has faced this year. Obviously, Chandler has a really good offensive line, but they took them to school. 11 sacks against Chandler when they won the battle for Arizona. Saguaro's offensive line, though, has played just stellar all year long. Their quarterbacks, whoever's in at quarterback, has had plenty of time to make plays. They have playmakers all over the field. Defensively, they probably have a better secondary than even Hamilton does. But like you mentioned, Nico Marchial is just on another level right now. Christian Anaya just committed to play at Montana State, so he's thrilled about that. And I do think that defensive front is still going to be a little too much for that Saguaro offensive line to handle for an entire 4 quarters. So I think it goes down to the wire, but give me Hamilton 28-27, just flipping it on you, Bruce. I think it's going to be a really good game.
I'll just give the same score as Spurge in that case. The next game that hopefully you're over there, Zoom. Anyways, the next game we're talking about is Desert Mountain at Horizon. Spurge, I'll let you kick this one off.
Yeah, I've been riding the Horizon train since week 1 when they beat Pinnacle for the first time. Andy Litton just has that program believing in themselves. Desert Mountain, really well coached. I really like what Coach Conrad has done over there. They have a great defense this year. That's what's carried them. That's what carried them to a victory last week. I just think Horizon has a few more playmakers, and they have that every couple of years you see a team that just has that random it factor. You're not sure what it is. You can't put a finger on it. Horizon has that this year, and so I think they're going to come out on top against Desert Mountain, say 27-20.
All right, Bruce.
All right. Well, you know what? Look, there's no mistaking what Horizon has done, but I think this game is going to come down to the trenches. And I like the big boys at Desert Mountain, and they're led by Porter Sweet. Give me Desert Mountain 30-24 over Horizon.
You guys are messing with me because you're making it impossible for me to come back because you guys are not agreeing. My whole plan was they're going to agree and I'm going to be the difference maker here. But, I'm strictly going to pick based off of math, I think. And I'm not usually good at that, but I picked on the side of Spurge before. So I think I'm going to say Desert Mountain with you, Bruce, just to kind of even things out here. That's it. That's what I'm going with. Got to do what you got to do. All right. Last matchup, last game of the Open Division semifinals, Liberty at Chandler. Bruce, I'll let you make your first call here.
Wow, I got to give hats off to the Lions last week. I didn't think they would beat Basha. I thought Basha had too many athletes for them, and look, Chandler has a wealth of athletes as well, and Liberty has all the reason in the world to want to for payback, having lost in the same game, the Open semis last year to Chandler. So paybacks with them, but at the end of the day, I got to go with the champions. I'm going with the Chandler Wolves here. Give me Chandler 31-21 over Liberty.
All right. I'm going to make my pick right here in the middle because I want to see what Spurge is going to do with that. Liberty at Chandler. Man, tough matchup to talk about because, yeah, we all made the mistake of choosing against Liberty last week. Bad call for all of us. I should have gone with my last minute instinct that told me we're at Liberty. Maybe I should choose them. That feels like the right choice. So I'm not choosing against Liberty again. First of all, Spurge, shout out. He was at the game, shot awesome footage at the Liberty game. That was you, right? You shot really good footage. Okay. You gave me a look like I didn't do that. No, he did an excellent job out of that game. So I'm curious to see what his pick is because he was there. But I'm glad you mentioned, I mean, this is also a revenge game for Liberty. They were just a 2-point conversion away from beating the Wolves last season. And, that win streak that they've got going and stuff, Liberty was almost the one to snap it. So I think strictly out of what they did last week against Basha, which I truly believed felt like the rightful 2 seed this season, the fact that they knocked them down tells me, and in my opinion, Chandler should have been the 3 seed. So I think with that alone, I've got to say they took down the better team. We'll go with it. They took down the better team already in Basha. So I'm going to go with Liberty here. What do you think, Spurge?
Well, not only did they take them down, but they completely out-physical Basha. And Chandler is a much more physical team than Basha. I think a lot of us realized that early on. But we have seen already with a strong front 7 against Hamilton, they got pushed around. Against Queen Creek, Queen Creek made it difficult for them. They had another strong front 7. Liberty's bread and butter is in the front 7. McKeel Gardner, 5 sacks last week. They had 9 as a team. Jack Sams, he's another guy. Phenomenal player, probably going to be one of the NFF players potentially this year as one of the top linebackers in the state. So after seeing how physical they are and slowing down the athletes that Basha has, because I personally think on the outside and at quarterback, Basha had the better athletes than Chandler does this year. And that's a lot to say because I know Keon Grays and Coron Adams are going to light it up at the outside and they're going to make some plays against that Liberty secondary. But based on last year's game and even this year when they were tied 21-all, I think Liberty has a chip on their shoulder. I'm not going to pick against them this time, even though Coach Thomas told us all to pick against them again to see how that would play out. I think Liberty will dethrone the defending champs. I think the run is over for Chandler this year. I think Liberty's going to win. Same scores last year, 35-34. It comes down to a late play.
Man, I cannot cannot wait to see what happens, not just for quick picks and for our own benefits, but coming down to the wire here. Football is getting so excited in Phoenix, in the Valley, in Arizona in general. I mean, oh my goodness, so much fun.
And this is scary for quick picks. Coop, I have a 1-game lead, and you and I just on all 3 games. So I'm either going to secure first place this week, or I'm going to find myself 2 games back. This is crazy.
You guys should be jealous of me. I'm just sitting pretty. I get to enjoy the games, and I don't care because I'm already losing, so I'm just gonna have a good time.
Claudia, we know the comeback's on, but I'm cracking up at what Coach Thomas told you. He told us all to pick against him. I've heard that song and dance before from other coaches. Steve Campbell and Williamsfield in particular, you pick against them, and they kind of keep that chip on their shoulder. So that's a way of kind of needling you and letting you know that, hey, you picked against us. So, I love it. I love it.
I absolutely love it. And if you're loving Bleacher Talk, stick with us because we'll be interviewing the head coach at Snowflake, Kay Solomon, when we return. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins along with Jordan Spurgeon, and we've got a special guest with us. He's kind of a triple threat, I've realized. He's the head coach at Snowflake, assistant principal, and athletic director. So we've got a lot going on. You're a busy guy, huh?
Director, junior high athletics, where I'm also the assistant principal. So yeah, there's plenty going on. It's always busy.
Well, it's been extra busy lately.
Well, it's been a good few weeks. We've had a great November, and this last day, this end of November, we're excited for what we've been able to do.
So you buried the lead, Claudia. State champs. How does that feel?
It's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, we won our second state championship in a row in the 3A last Saturday night down there at Campo Verde, and we're thrilled. Our kids are thrilled. Our community is thrilled. It's just we feel like it's a huge accomplishment for us to be able to do what we've been doing and be competitive in this 3A conference. I know you followed along, and as you've gone through the year, the 3A conference has just been pretty stacked with, you could arguably say 8 to 10 teams that really had a shot going into the playoffs this year for a championship, and for us to come out on top. Obviously, that was the dream and the goal, but to make it come to happen was just a great accomplishment for us.
We'll dive more into the game in a sec, but I'm glad that you mentioned the community, because if there's one thing I noticed, I didn't get to go out to the game, but the pictures of the stands and the crowds looked like you had an impressive turnout. How much does that mean for a state championship game?
Oh, it means a lot, and it's always been that way. I grew up here. I played here back in the 80s, and you make it down to those final games, and everybody that's a Snowflake alumni, and even people from neighboring communities up here, they love to be down and be a part of those playoff games, and feel like they have a little bit of a stake in it too. We're rivals through the season, but when a White Mountain team makes it down there, then everybody kind of usually jumps on board, and we definitely had that Saturday night. One of my biggest regrets last year with the 2020 championship was the limited attendance due to COVID, and so they really were limited on the number of tickets that they sold. But last Saturday, you saw Global Nation was out in full force, got there, and that crowd was great. It was live. It was really fun.
So on the field too, you faced one of the top quarterbacks in the state, Richard Stallworth, and you held him in that offense to only 3 points. I mean, what does that say just about the way your guys competed against them?
Well, it was an incredible week of preparation. What a great quarterback he is. What a great player. You got to give credit to him and to his dad, as he's their head coach, Coach Rhett Stallworth, and they're doing incredible things down there in Yuma with their program. And you've seen that he's been breaking records for the past 2 years. And by the time he finishes up next year, you would expect him probably to hold all the career passing type records in the state of Arizona, and well-deserved. He's got a great arm, makes great reads. So preparing for him, we knew that we had to to play defense, a complete defense. We had to cover well in the back end, and we had to get pressure on him, try to get him moved and offer him his first, maybe even second read. And so we went to work all last week of making sure that we were prepared for that and getting that done. And I give credit to our kids, for those who haven't done it, a semifinal win is a huge relief. You just feel a huge weight off your shoulders. Hey, we've made it. We gotten to the ship. We're gonna go and compete, and we at least have a chance for that. And but you also worry that the kids are going to lose focus. They're not going to come back in quite as focused. Kind of have that we made it mentality. 2 years in a row now, our kids have come in, and that last week has been the best week, the most focused week of practice that we've had for 2 years in a row. And I think it showed, especially paid off in a really tight game last Saturday night.
I'm glad you touched on the defense, but moving over to the offense, what do you think they did well, and what was the difference maker there?
For our offense, unfortunately, our quarterback, Caden Cantrell, he went down late in the Valley Christian semifinal game with a dislocated toe. It could have been very serious. It turned out to be a lot, best case scenario for him, but it was still extremely sore. And the fact that he was kind of in a boot for the week also kind of affected a hip issue that he had. So he still came out, and even limited in his mobility and his ability to do what he's been doing all year, which is extend plays and even run when he needs to and get some yards. Caden did an excellent job in directing the offense and getting things done. We came out, especially in the second half, focused on making our run game work a little bit better. We weren't having the success. We were in the back. Yuma Catholic not only throws the ball well, they defend the pass extremely well, and they made that difficult for us. But our run game came alive with Camden Brimhall, Rhett Winger, Jet McCrae, guys that take time back in that backfield, and so they did some great things and made that happen. It was awesome.
So now I got to take the opportunity. It's the second time I've busted this out on this show, but not everyone knows how the rings are chosen, how you do that. So how do you guys go about choosing your rings? Do you design it? Do you have your players and your captains design it? How do you guys do it? Because we had our captains do it, and it was a fun time. We picked out the biggest rings we could. So how do you guys do it?
So we last year was the first year I've been involved in that. I was on a team that tied for a state championship way back in the 80s, but man, rings, I think we might have gotten a t-shirt and something like that, but rings weren't a thing back then. But last year we sat down. I've got some really good coaches that if there's uniform design or shirt design or things like that's not my thing. I'm not great at that, but I've got some coaches that are really good at it, and they sat down with some of the different companies that design them. And then we did get our captains involved last year too, and so we had a couple of them that had the final say, and they couldn't decide. We had a nice silver ring. We had a nice kind of a black looking ring. And a lot of the kids, we bought one for them, and a lot of the kids ended up buying the second one just because they couldn't decide between the two of them. So a lot of them have two rings at home, even for just last year. This year, we hope to be a lot better at it. We're a little more practiced now. So we actually had a meeting last night and got together and started that process. And so we'll get rolling on that.
That's
last question here for me. As a coach, you win the title. What is it like when that moment happens and you get to watch your team celebrate that? I mean, what emotions were going through your head, and what do you think they were all feeling?
Well, with 2 years to compare now, with the win in 2020, we won with a lot bigger margin than we did this year. This year, I think all the way, even through Sunday, I was feeling tense through the shoulders. I think a little PTSD. That was a close game. I mean, we knew we were one score away from either losing, or once we got the late field goal, of coming away with a tie and an overtime scenario. So it was a relief, and it's a great feeling. It's great to see those boys get the chance to celebrate. But it's funny, and this is the coach's mindset. The thoughts are already turning to next year. Okay, what do we do? Who do we have coming back? How do we get things going in this off season? And what's the plan for that? So my mind's already working in that direction. We'll get going and see what we need to do to try to defend again.
Looking to three-peat.
Well, we'd love to. Like I say, it starts with the dream, it starts with the work, and you work hard to give yourselves the opportunity. We're curious to know what's going to happen. You know, obviously with the AIA and the way they've been doing things the past few years, we would have to expect to be in line to possibly get moved up to a 4A competition next year for football. And, you know, obviously that's not something that we want. We have great rivalry up here in the White Mountains with the other 3A schools, but come what may, we're gonna make plans and go to work and do our best to be competitive.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. Congratulations to you and Snowflake for winning back-to-back 3A state titles. Don't go anywhere, anybody. Up next, we've got our social spotlight segment, one of our favorite of our 3 segments here on Bleacher Talk. Keep watching. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. Welcome back to Bleacher Talk, presented by Valle Luna. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins, and it's time for our social spotlight this week.
Woohoo!
Videos showing out for the playoffs. A lot of these teams and players and coaches showing out. Recruiting wide open now. Coaches are coming out to all the schools still in the playoffs. Claudia, you go first. What's our first spotlight?
So the first one I have for you, we're kicking it off strong. I have watched this video so many times. Actually, shout out to Spurge for coming across it. Take a look real quick. You're going to love it.
On your team and see what they do week in, week out, and help you get another state championship.
They're special athletes, but I did want to take the opportunity right now to do one thing. My girlfriend, Sarah, come here.
Something's a brewing over here.
I had a plan all year. This was the plan. Would you marry me?
Spurge, I don't know if, like, how cute is that? Is that something you're going to agree with? Are we just going to throw it all out there? Adorable, right?
Oh, it's one of the most adorable things, Coach. I'm sure that's the word you're looking for too, adorable on that. But whatever it was, it worked because you guys went on to win 6 straight titles. Now here you are trying to get back to your first Open Division championship this year, potentially.
So if you need more rings, just put a ring on it. Is that kind of how this works?
That might be the secret to life, secret to winning. I'll have to think about that one. How that one goes out. Speaking of winning, Christian Anaya, the star wide receiver at Hamilton High School, 16 touchdown catches this year. Him and Nico Marchio have a special connection. Well, now Christian's going to be attending Montana State. He committed there the other day. Congratulations, Christian. You've been balling out all year, and now you found the school where you're going to play for the next 4 years, and we're very excited to see you at the next level.
We are so excited for you, and we love seeing that for, all the players that we cover. Now moving on to ALA Queen Creek. Want to give that school a shout out because honestly, they had such an incredible season. Kind of got shorthanded, obviously being in the Open, and it's a tough matchup, honestly. But I love this hype video because it's just such a great way to encompass what a season they've had. So, shout out from us over here on Bleacher Talk.
Yeah, Claudia, I was at that game at Hamilton for about a quarter and a half, and the ALA Queen Creek fans, they were loud. Like, I was there probably an hour before kickoff, and they were loud for that entire hour, and they were loud during the game. It was still somewhat close, too, when I left, so they were really supporting their team, and they had a phenomenal season. Last up for us on this social spotlight, we're going to Chandler, the Ohio State University in
OH.
Claudia knows all about Ohio State. Amari Washington, one of 2 players with offers to Ohio State this year. Absolute force on the defensive line. He's only a junior too. He's only going to get better moving forward. Really special player. Now he gets an offer from the Ohio State University.
Yes, it is the.
That way.
So, Spurge, you thought you were on the last one, but I actually have one more for you that I didn't want to share with you. We're going to look at Devin Henry's Twitter now to take a look at some of his photoshopping skills. So you did like what? You did like a couple push-ups at the ASU Territorial Cup game. Is that what happened?
Like 20-something push-ups, clapping push-ups with Sparky. Sparky couldn't hang.
No big deal. Well, he killed it with this edit. It looks like legit. I don't know how he made your face.
That's how I felt.
Wait, that's your body, right?
That's
okay.
me right after the gym. I was down in Tucson in that photo. That was me. It was freezing. I wore the tank top and the shorts and all that.
I had to surprise you with this one because it was just too good. It made my life.
We love that. I really did feel like that.
That's good. That's good. Hey, well, that does it for this edition of Bleacher Talk. We're so excited. We're really in the final, 2 weeks now? This is absolutely crazy. We're going to be sad when football season is behind us, but we have a lot more Bleacher Talk coming your way throughout the year. So you won't miss us too much. We won't let you miss us too much, but thanks so much for watching Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins with Jordan Spurgeon.